Are we on? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights, cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Us into a great conversation, continuing a part 2 of our hip-hop culture and rap music in Africa and its impact here on Culture Daily. It's going to be very interesting, pretty heated up, I can foresee. Last week, talking foresee and forgive. In fact, last week I had a great conversation with Nana Yebiafo Jana. It was a great conversation. Just jump onto our socials on Facebook, roll back, scroll back a little bit, you find it there. Quite a number of things he has shared there, deep insights into things that are very reflective on our lives and we have to pay close attention to. Very interesting conversation. We've promised to try and get him again. He's a quite busy man. Try and bring him back to the studio again to have a continuation of the convo. But last week we sparked our own conversation on hip-hop music and rap music in Africa. We're continuing that this week as well. But don't forget, the Bang & Olufsen 3 Music Awards is happening on the 28th of September at the Palms Convention Center from 4 p.m. You don't want to miss out on this one. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be wild and great. Have you voted? Well, if you haven't voted, hurry up, do so, *447*3#, and let me get you that before the voting. But in case you want to grab a ticket early right now, there's a discount on there for you. So hurry. If you can grab it, do that ASAP. Let me give you the tickets. Short code is *920*63*33#, and that's *920*63*33#. And the tickets are selling really fast. We have corporates that are really buying a huge number of tickets. So hurry up! Don't wait till 25th and start calling and say, "Jay, I beg, I could get tickets." I'll refer you to *920*33#. So *920*63. I beg your pardon, 63*33#. Again, I repeat, *920*63*33# would get you a ticket. So hurry up, and you can also get some reservations for tables as well. Then we'll give you the updates on that one. But the Ghana-Niger Jollof Battle is also happening on the 5th of October at Good Park from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's going to be crazy. It's a food war, if I can say that, between Ghana and Niger. They call it the Ghana-Niger Food Festival. It's powered by Aspera International. It's going to be crazy. Stoneboy performing live with Inchin Band there as well. Get your tickets now. Ticket short code is going for *713*33*12#. *713*33*12#. Great news from Live Resto down La Bauleshi Road. Great place to enjoy your meals and your food, especially now you're looking towards brunch or lunch or dinner. It's in East Legon. Call 020-133-7766. 133-7766. It's a telesale number, 020. So hurry up and make a reservation there, book a table, or you can also order for some food today for lunch, especially. What are you having? Tozafi, groundnut soup, omuto, fufu light soup, rice, chicken. It's all in there as well for you. Lancaster University, are you planning on earning a British degree at a fraction of the cost? Well, Lancaster's got great news for you if you want a degree program there. Oh, great news. You can initially get 50% discount on your degree program at Lancaster whilst you're being taught by the Finance Faculty of Lectures in their ultra-modern campus. If you want more info, it's on the website. It's lancaster.edu.gh. or email them at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh or call 020-960-7008. It is the only British university campus in West Africa. Now again, good morning. So we're talking about the impact of hip-hop, our Ghanaian culture and hip-hop. And why are we talking about this morning? Because we're looking at obviously its impact. Last week I had a great conversation trying to draw fine lines between hip-hop and rap. Serial gave massive insights, but of course the conversation was getting very heated. But today we are also equally looking at the representation, what our culture has done to hip-hop, what we think hip-hop is, and what our culture has done to hip-hop, and what it is as we speak. Now, widely or worldly, we see hip-hop music coming from, let's say the Americas, right? Serial, I know line, yes, thank you very much. Yeah. And Olele, I just confirmed that point as well. Yeah. Lenny, I know you don't listen to hip hop music, but once you chance upon it, fine. But you do accept, because I'm making my point is building it on the fact that we agree as we go, so that when anybody comes back and said, "I did not mean that this thing," we get it. He's wearing his glasses, I'm afraid. We do all agree that hip hop has a certain culture. That's from the Amanone, and they have created a certain culture around it. From
That's why I say that I don't hear anything the rappers say.
Yes,
food of everything they put in it.
Yes, the music itself, the fashion, and all of that. Now, also, what I want to start off the conversation with is what has I want us to first draw the fine line between hip hop and rap. I don't know if I can get any explanation on that, because Olele, we ended on that note last week when we're trying to understand this.
Mr. Hip Hop and
yes,
rap.
Just so we get insights to what you know. I mean, it may not be right, it may be right, but what we think it is. This will help us understand what the conversation we're going to have on hip hop, so we don't misconstrue and then we don't bring maybe a meaning of rap music into what we think is hip hop. Okay, so I just want to find out from you if and what the fine line between rap music and hip hop is.
Hip hop is a culture. Rap is just a style of performance or communication through music.
Wait, again.
If I give you lyrics,
yeah, okay,
you could rap them, you could sing them, you could read them, you could raga them. That would determine what you're doing. But hip hop is much larger than that. Hip hop is a culture.
Okay, so now what is this culture that we call hip hop? What is it like? Can we just describe?
What, in Ghana?
No. I mean, what we know. I'm not putting any boundaries or borders to it. Yeah.
Everything from slang to clothing to the way we walk, to the kind of even lifestyle.
So it's an easily identifiable culture.
Highly.
We agree to that. Very easily identifiable.
For simplicity, it translates in Ghana as Akata. Anything that you'd refer to in Ghana as Akata is hip hop.
Okay, so who are some of the hip hop rappers? Now, you see, you put the two words back again in a way.
Yeah, which is
Who
correct.
are some of the hip hop rappers that we can identify easily in Ghana?
Sark.
Okay.
Manifest.
Which you just played his music.
Kwesi Arthur? No.
Hip hop. Authentic hip hop. So who did I mention?
Now we are drawing the line between hip hop and authentic hip hop.
No. You know what? In fact, it is because my next question is going to let us draw fine lines. I don't know if you can also have. I'm not putting only it on only Cyril, but amongst all of us.
How about medical, Cyril?
Yeah,
won't you
medical
put
is
medical
hip-hop.
in there?
Yeah, medical.
Kwesi Arthur. Won't you put Kwesi Arthur?
Yeah,
in there?
Kwesi can be hip hop.
Who else?
Kwesi Ameuga can be hip hop, right?
Yeah, Kwesi Ameuga.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's probably just doing it in a different language. Is that what it is? I still need to understand this hip hop rap thing, honestly.
One is about the music, one is not. One is exclusively rap. Can only be viewed and
that's why I asked for the definition of hip hop and then the fine line
rap
between hip hop and rap.
Rap only exists on a beat.
So if the person is doing the beat or doing the music without the lifestyle,
Faith is hip hop. It doesn't rap. Faith Evans' whole career is hip hop. There's a bunch of other non-rappers who are a big part of hip hop.
Like Missy Elliott.
Yeah, Missy is hip hop.
Just straight hip hop.
Even though she does a lot of pop and she raps. Bing, 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 bing. Missy be putting it down. I'm the hardest rap. So it's a hip hop project, but that's a pop beat.
How about Eve?
Eve is a rapper. Eve is a hip hop rapper. She's the lifestyle and she's the
rap as well.
The reason why people hate on Drake is because Drake doesn't always carry the lifestyle, even though he raps. So Drake is rapping hard on a song, but the video comes out and he's got rollers in his hair. So the disconnect exists because that is not the visual of hip hop.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
So there is a certain American hip hop artist that we see, and you can tell these are hip hop artists because of the culture that they have defined hip hop as.
The lifestyle.
The lifestyle they have defined hip hop as. Now, when we come back home to Ghana, have we defined hip hop per what we think it's supposed to look like, be like, in reference to our culture in any way? Is there a Ghanaian, because you see, you've mentioned Ghanaian hip hop artists, do they resonate as equal? Do they give off the same signals in terms of character, attitude, lifestyle, all of that, as where we believe this has hailed from, which is the US? Because I mean, it's not our word. Hip hop's not our word, right?
I think yeah, we've had various renditions where we had people take on the hip hop lifestyle, but didn't necessarily rap, and we had people who took on the hip hop lifestyle and rapped. Let me take, for example, Bookback. Right,
because we are going to end up categorizing people as hip life artists and categorize artists as hip hop artists, because we find and rappers.
Let me give you the difference.
Because we've given the context of what hip hop is, of what rap is, and now we are coming back home to see those who have taken our culture and tradition to alter what it is and have owned it, or if that's what it's supposed to be.
So NFL, was hip hop.
For those who don't know NFL, just
Lane doesn't know NFL.
Why, when I say Fugees, do you have to define
native
fan club, Blay and Co. So Google them. NFL, the way you Google other important things. Google NFL. So NFL encapsulated the hip hop lifestyle and culture, and also tried to localize their rap style with pidgin, right? To communicate to the audience. So they are hip hop. Do you get it? Bookback, VIP, also carried the hip hop lifestyle and culture, the way they dress, the baggies, the Timbs, the jackets, the caps, all that VIP and Bookback you saw is hip hop. But the music is where they diversified. I forgot the song.
Anytime I did touch her,
it's not hip hop. But the people the way they were dressed, the way they talk, the way.
That away? That's away, right?
Yeah. If your boyfriend they do well.
Yeah. Away.
That's not a hip hop song, but the people were hip hop. The same way Drake is hip hop, but Drake can do. You used to call me on my cell phone.
Not like bling.
It's not a hip hop song, right?
Right.
But he is hip hop by lifestyle. The strippers, the nightclubs, the SUVs, the private jets, the fashion flaunting, all that is hip hop. You get it? So it's possible to look hip hop, be hip hop, and not rap. That's why hip hop is an immersive thing. That's why hip hop fans are defined by one, the visuals. When you see somebody, the way me I dress now, I don't dress hip hop.
Yeah.
Even when I was rapping, I didn't dress hip hop much. Right, but there are people that you see that they can't rap a bar to save their life, but the hat is tilted, the Durac day under, some baggy tees. So you understand? That is an identity. So it's possible for you to be hip hop and not be a rapper. But once you rap, you have borrowed an element.
Who would you
from
say?
Hip hop?
Who would you say managed to? Okay, first of all, I mean, oil and water doesn't mix. So. We tried to carry a certain part of hip hop to fuse it with our local settings. So, like you said, Akata, but I'll come and sing a certain song in a certain hip life. I didn't want to say hip life, but in a certain way that's
pop. In a pop way,
but in a pop way with local, my local accents and all of that, So people do that. Which rapper or which artist in Ghana would you say managed to maintain our culture? And when I say our culture, things, elements from fashion, because you mentioned fashion as one of the unique things that defines hip hop. Aside from the language and the art, the lifestyle, which artist would you say did not take America, but took Ghana and converted a Ghanaian culture into hip hop music, and is that the real representation of what like a Ghanaian hip hop artist should be? Now, you see, the question I'm asking is about who really represents hip hop, Ghanaian hip hop music. Because when you say Ghanaian hip hop music, you're making reference to, that means there are elements.
Hip hop from Ghana.
Yes, hip hop from Ghana. It means we have developed and created a certain brand that defines what we say as hip hop music in Ghana? Because of course we're not going to compete with the people. Amanone. I came to Ghana looking for a Ghanaian hip hop artist. Does it mean that I came to Ghana looking for an American lifestyle local rapper?
Or I'm looking
yes, I mean, is that what I'm looking for? Or I'm looking for somebody who embodies what we perceive as hip hop. Hip hop is music, food, culture, lifestyle, all those things creating the space, its industry,
the lifestyle.
So you pick all these things and you use it to create your representation. So I'm asking, is there any artist that has defied the use of anything foreign but has encapsulated things here locally to create what he would become or she would become as a Ghanaian hip-hop artist? And then the follow-up question would be, should that be our definition of a hip-hop artist? And if that answer comes out, then now we'll go back to look at who are the hip-hop artists we have in Ghana. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah. The people I think who've gone closest to that margin is probably early days One Love. Then
One Love the Kubolo.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know One Love Spooky used to rap. Mm-hmm. So when One Love came back to Ghana first, he had a lot of rappy content before the consciousness broke through and he switched up. So early days One Love was really culturally aware, but also trying to do something that ties in. It's the same for Manifest as well. Manifest has
I beg you see the names that are coming out.
But these two people came.
Yeah, so
Jonathan, these are people
and you see that. So you see these are people who came.
Yes.
And noticed a difference. Anyway, you continue. Today we're getting to where I'm getting to.
The thing is that
9:45 will be deadly.
There's always the advantage of hindsight. A lot of people in Ghana were exposed to something, and when you're exposed to something, you gravitate towards aspiring to be that thing. You don't know what else. Do you get what I'm saying? And those of the people who were bound by Ghanaian culture, or all they had was Ghana, were looking for validation elsewhere. That's why in 90-degree weather, you'd wear a leather jacket because it's cool, right? But somebody who is coming from Amonone would want to wear African print. Now, let me give you the psychology of it. We were here in Ghana where nobody thought African print was cool until Americans started, the Shikis and African prints and Year of Return, all these things. All of a sudden, it's cool now on a Monday to wear African print. It's no longer just Friday wear.
It's me that have got straight bullets.
Oh, no, it's not you. It's not you, but I wear African print more than you, Safe. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not just about the music. It's just human nature. The things that we love in this country, if the thing doesn't pass through the filter of Western acceptance, we usually don't like it.
Now, so you see, so I'm asking about, so now these names you've mentioned, it's taking them time to let people come to understand that if you want to be a representation of our local hip hop, our Ghanaian hip hop, you need to carry certain elements.
But how about Ochame Kwame?
Well, good question.
Add Ochame Kwame?
Well,
I wouldn't see Ochame
that
Kwame
name came to
as a hip hop artist.
Ochame Kwame started from a hip life space.
Yeah, but isn't it hip life? Isn't it hip hop that we are bringing to the Ghanaian context to make it?
No,
but
so hip life is just rap on high life inspired.
But isn't that?
But also borrowing from hip hop.
Isn't that Ghanaian hip hop music?
The grandfather of this whole thing is hip hop. Rap is a skill. Fashion is an element. Lifestyle is an element. So you, as the creative, can mix and match whatever you want. Outkast.
But if you are
Outkast, were hip hoppers, they were rappers, but their fashion sense and their eccentric. Andre 3000, he come in a 3-piece suit with a hat and everything, but he's rapping harder than the guys who were dressed like Jada Kiss and co. When Busta Rhymes came out crazy with the hair and all the antics and the clown face and all the goofing stuff, it was not your typical hip hop. So everybody gets the chance to pick and choose.
There were extensions, yes, but they were not far off from what the source was.
That's what I'm saying about the defining factor, right? Is the fact that you are bound by this set of rules. if those rules don't apply, then there's no hip hop.
So hold on. So Oli, let me ask you: do we, and be honest with yourself, if you give me this answer, do we accept Ghanaian rappers that choose Ghanaian elements to feed into their hip hop brand? Do we easily accept them?
Oh yeah, I think that's a straight yes. I think what we struggle to accept is what we struggle to accept are the rappers who try to sound more American than Ghanaian.
No, somebody said I say so because I say that because it seems a lot of rappers of today, both young upcoming rappers of today, in their understanding of what I should look like as a hip hop artist, are devoid of the generation we are in and how people would dress, seem to embody hip hop as Ghanaian hip hop, as Akata, unless they're not doing Ghanaian hip hop, as Akata.
But Jay, even in today's world, today's hip hop world, where I would say the headquarters of hip hop, if you look at the headquarters of hip hop, how are they dressing? The dressing has changed over the years. I was actually looking forward to hear Cyril mention Papi Kojo and Joey B, because these two people were the representation of what hip hop was in Ghana once upon a time.
For the new school, no?
Yes, I have questions, but
and I say so because of how influential they were, not just with the music, but even with the lifestyle he talked about, the way they dressed. They introduced a sense of fashion that wasn't important.
But Joey went back.
Yeah, but
his sense of fashion was the real old school.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, that's why I mentioned Papi Kojo and Joey B as a unit, or as primary artists, both of them being primary artists in that era, right? They did not introduce a lifestyle that wasn't difficult to follow. They introduced a lifestyle that the base of the fan base could easily jump on. I'm talking about the Durak. Sorry, not the Durak.
Shirtless?
Not the shorts. The bandana.
Bandana.
Yeah, how they tie the bandana. I'm talking about the patch jeans. They wore. I'm talking about, I think at that time,
the short shorts.
And there was a rise in some, acquisition of Air Forces, white Air Forces, in that era. And for me, that was fashion. That was pretty much I would say the case study for how hip hop was actually demystified to the Ghanaian audience, although they were singing or rapping in their local dialects. I mean, most of the time,
have you noticed that? You see, the point of this thing is, have you noticed that to go far as a Ghanaian hip hop artist, you would not have to be an American hip hop artist.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to be Ghanaian. So now the question is, what is the Ghanaian hip hop artist?
Me, I told you
the Ghanaian hip hop artist can either do what Joey and Papi did, where they found a great line that worked, or they can invest in language. Sarkodie, if you watch Sarkodie's videos and you listen to Sarkodie on mute, without hearing that he's rapping in Chi, Sarkodie could be from anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to Manifest and you watch Manifest videos on mute,
that I beg to differ.
No, if you watch, let me tell you why. If you put Sarkodie's video and Manifest video on mute and you played it for an uninitiated audience, and they were to choose who is a Ghanaian rapper, who do you think they would choose?
Manifest.
Yes. So that is what I mean by that. It transcends the rap. Sark found his Ghanaianness in language. So because we pardoned him with the language, or because we accepted his skill set and his brand with that language, anything else he did, cigars, plush cars, suits, jet skis, all the normal hip hop vibe things, we didn't see it as Yankee.
Okay, but Cyril,
because he was rapping in P.
I want to ask you, language voice is, I don't see that much as a tool to really define if you are doing, as whether you represent hip hop or not. Because I want to ask that an American hip hop artist raps in English. That's the language they speak. So it doesn't define them as a hip hop artist because it is the language they speak. So
you hear Sarkodie when he raps.
So
So you see, she can't hear the English rappers, but she can hear Sarkodie when he raps.
Oh yeah, it's her native language.
No, it's not her native language. It's from the Volta region.
But when it's Kasahari, I can't hear. You know when he started the Kasahari that he used to do, but now I can't hear that.
My point
but still now I can't hear that.
So what sells the American hip hop most? Is it
subconsciously?
Language? No, it's not language. That's what I'm asking. What sells the American hip hop artists?
American hip hop is skill. It's skill and it's style. That's it. And then of course whoever is marketing you, your budget. But skill and style. Great but what I'm saying is that if you are talking about your specific question of what makes hip hop most acceptable in Ghana, it's language. Everybody who says they are hip hop, who's had massive commercial success, has had to delve to tree. It's there. The people all you mentioned, Reggie Rockstone, or Brafo, Sarko Dier, Chame Kwame, Asaka Boys, whatever, right? Or Pigeon, at best. Kwesi Arthur, EL, everywhere. You have to, the language, if you're rapping like pure English for the skill and the proficiency to show I'm a hip hopper, you are moving far away from the acceptance of the audience.
But Cyril, in that case, we don't refer to them as hip hop artists because we just refer to all of them as hip life. Like we run all of them.
That's what I'm saying. That the hip life hip hop conversation, right, is one that we got lost on the way 2 decades ago. So we can't solve it now.
Yeah.
Hip life and hip hop, they are basically the same thing. If you ask me, right? If you ask me, we didn't have any reason, okay, to create hip life. If you ask me, it was a novelty that Reggie Rockstone has come with a hip hop vibe. The producers that he had access to had a high life and very Ghanaian inspired vibe, and this fusion created something new and exciting for everybody. And somebody said, let's throw a name on it, and a name went on it. As to whether that had all the tiers needed to be a genre on its own is up for debate. Because what is the fashion behind hip life? What is the ideology behind hip life?
Question, Cyril.
What
brilliant question.
We didn't think that through. It was like Reggie, they do something hip life, yay, and then we held the yay for 20 years.
So basically, it's all just hip hop.
So basically, maybe the underlying question here is what creates a genre?
Yes, because honestly, that's what I'm saying. That
with all the names we've mentioned, see, I think that it is all just hip life that we see. If not, then it is hip hop localized. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. Because
so they should all be hip hop artists, not hip hop artists.
Exactly, with how they dress, with everything else. If you are going to now,
Childish Gambino has a song that sampled Ebo Taylor. Please just Google it.
Oh yeah, it was out a few days ago.
Yeah, right,
or weeks ago.
So if Childish Gambino has a song with Ebo Taylor, that doesn't make him a song with the Ebo Taylor production sample beat thing. That doesn't make him hip life. It's the same way if Kanye samples soul, right? A soul song or a jazz song or an R&B song. It doesn't make Kanye a soul artist.
Granted, but all I'm saying is I think that
American artists
we've just localized.
What you saying that
an American artist that a lot of song. Any song in America we've heard that has elements of
Africa, high life, high life. It doesn't become hip life. It still stays hip hop, and listen. That's what I'm saying. That if you ask me, hip life would not be a genre, not because I mean Reggie, Hammer, all of them, they are my big brothers. But I'm saying this from a purely intellectual standpoint, and I want us to review what I'm saying.
Yeah, we have to allow you to finish it. I'll still make it.
If hip life was to be a genre, it would need more pillars to stand on to have a clear definition of what it is. Hip hop has all those pillars, and a big part of hip hop, which makes it so versatile, is the fact that sampling is an accepted production element, where the DJ can have turntables, have a little bit of I've been vampires and I see blood. That's dance hall, and then the game comes in with hip hop. Kanye will do better, stronger. We don't care where the genre of the sample comes from. But no matter where you sample it from, it will not change the genre. This girl is doing the Toshi Master. What's the name? The Japanese thing.
Yeah.
The girl.
Meg the Stallion.
Meg, the one they are doing on social media. Yeah,
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion. That sample or that chorus or whatever is not going to define the what's it called, the genre.
Yes.
If Jay-Z does a track now, Jay-Z does an album, right? And it's the track change. If they sample that for 20 songs, Jay-Z is not going to become still be a hip hop guy who sampled a high life song.
Good.
That definition is what has saved hip hop and made hip hop an island on its own with so much versatility, right? But hip life was simply on the fact that one young man came with a purely very strong hip hop influence and a rap skill set, and fused that with the production style of producers who were also heavily influenced by high life, Ghanaian and African drums and elements. And they created a beautiful fusion. The error in that place, or the avoidable situation in that instance, was it shouldn't have been the birth of
a new genre.
It should
still have been maintained as hip-hop.
It should have been hip hop, but this is how we interpret it. So everybody else who follows trail, Lord Kenya, Obrafour, EL, Achiami, whoever, they are hip hoppers. So, but this is how they interpret it. So when you take it to Fante,
let me ask you. So the hip hop that Reggie did, when he released his Showboy and them. The hip hop that he released categorized as hip life, and let's say VIP's Homekawum. They're all hip life, right? But when you look at the vast difference, the range.
That's what I'm saying.
From rhythm, style, all of that, the range.
Yes, so that's the versatility. So because if you look at Drake, from I just wanna be successful to she used to come here on her cell phone, it's just the versatility and the range of the artist, right? And it's okay to be a hip hop rapper and want to do a pop song. Lil Wayne has a country song.
So Reggie Rockstone is a hip life artist. VIP.
No, Reggie Rockstone is a hip hop artist. He's a hip hop artist who came to rap on a new style of beat, right, and created a new style of music, and then named the output Hip Life, and with that naming of that output becoming Hip Life, followed through.
And people have started calling themselves hip life artists.
And why do you think
Paluta's a hip life artist?
Why do you think for 30 years plus we've had this constant debate as to what is hip hop and what is hip life? It's because one of them is the subset of the other and lacks the finite definition to stand on its own, and that is hip life. Hip life has a surface definition. Right, if you called anybody, they would give you a different definition. If you called the pioneers, each one of them they would give you a different definition. But if I call anybody in the world to ask them what jazz is, everybody will hit the bullseye. If I called anybody in the world to say what is reggae, they'll hit on the bullseye. So that lack of accuracy is why we've been having this problem, because you have people now who are hip hop to the core, but simply because they rap in one language, a local language, we quickly push them under.
So it's manifest a hip life artist or a hip hop artist.
Me, I beg to differ in what Sarah is saying.
You don't beg, you just differ.
Because if you are saying that, then we can also make an argument that high life should not stand on its own, because high life is also a fusion of jazz, Western pop, and that of our African
sound. I can tell you why high life should stand on its own.
Let him finish first. Let him finish. No,
but
point.
The car is taking his wrong.
But he has to be right to take it there.
Let him land. In submission, you said that hip life cannot stand on its own because it is inspired by hip hop.
I'm going to say it's real. That's not what I said.
Let him finish. You let him finish. If he's wrong, let him finish.
One may not be able to explain what hip life is. I think over the years, hip life has been able to establish itself as a standalone genre.
How?
Because the elements that make hip life what it is very, very visible.
It's
the same elements that we argue when it comes to high life. Hip life is rap on hip hop production, but with a cultural approach to it. The cultural approach here is, first of all, what makes culture? Language makes culture. Lifestyle makes culture. Fashion makes culture. And these guys were able to reinterpret the culture of hip hop into our culture.
Only via language. That's what lifestyle.
Remember when Reggie came? Remember when Reggie came? He said when he first did this whole hip life thing, it was very difficult for the older folks to accept because they were calling them what? Rascals.
Yes.
Do you get me?
Yeah,
they were calling them rascals because of how they dressed, how they represented themselves, and so on and so forth, right? Cyril also mentioned that, Africans or Ghanaians, right, found it cool after the white man decided to make dashiki cool, right? Huh? So I'm telling you that for so long, for many years, Reggie and the rest of these, the TH for Kwajes and all these guys had to push through the culture by representing the Ghanaian through the lens of hip hop. And that's why now we have hip life. No other African country can do hip life better than Ghana because we've been able to put in that Ghanaian cultural element.
I think it's only just the rhythm.
Exactly.
I think it's only just rhythm.
That's what it's not just rhythm.
What else? Because we still dress Akata in doing that, and I can list a whole lot of artists that dress Akata. You're talking book bag, VIP.
No, but that's why I mentioned earlier that
before we go too far, can I make the correction?
I'm not done, please.
Okay.
Over the years, the lifestyle of the culture has evolved. Jay-Z is not wearing Akata today. Lil Wayne is not wearing Akata today.
He's going to work.
DJ Khaled is not wearing Akata today.
He's not wearing anything these days.
He wears. So
do you get what I'm saying?
He still plays golf and then he's wearing
Rick Ross. Bring our legends today. The VIPs in the book bags, they're not going to wear Akata today because fashion in itself will evolve. In fact, fashion has what I call the round trip syndrome. It will go on and come back. Yeah. When we started seeing people wearing palazzos, was it palazzos?
Yeah. They used to call it Nyanka bells.
Nyanka bells.
I heard. Hold my ties and leave my legs. These were things that they were wearing back in the day, right? And they wear these tight shirts. They tuck it in and they wear. Now look at our artists. Our artists are wearing. The male artists are wearing high heel shoes.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was for the burger high life people who come with the afros and stuff. But now they've been able to incorporate it in today's culture or what is in vogue today. So with the lifestyle and the lifestyle of the genre that makes it what it is, it always has it will go around and come back. So far as it's in vogue, it allows the culture to still stay alive. Do you get what I'm saying? So we cannot immediately take away the fact that this 30 years is not a joke. The last time we talked about the fact that some of these existing genres like R&B and they've been there forever. We just celebrated hip hop for 50 years. Within those 50 years, a lot of things have happened within that genre.
I agree.
Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And the same thing has happened to our genres like hip life, right? And that's why I came back to the fact that you can't even talk about high life without acknowledging the fact that there were Western.
I think it grew and it stopped.
No,
if you ask me,
it stopped because we had this conversation before. It stopped because people want to be the leader of a new sound.
No, wait, did it stop or it paused? Because I think it paused.
It didn't even pause.
Well, it hasn't paused.
It diverted.
Can I also interject because I'm still waiting?
I think there was a pause because now people are proudly doing hip life again now. I think there was a pause for like maybe some years. In the past maybe year or two, people are now coming up again to say that I am a hip life artist.
That's because, and we've already admitted this on this show that the head mentality is what often plagues us Ghanaians. Like, as soon as there's something new in town, everybody leaves what they are known for and follow. So, for example, when we lost the party bus of Afrobeats, right? Everybody left behind what was hip life and started following Afrobeats because Afrobeats are also. We had an artist coming to tell us that on your high life or your Afrobeat artist
and won the high life song of the year.
Do you get what I'm saying? So we have that one. It's a sickness, a virus that we are believing God to receive healing for, right? Until recently, when this whole hip life conversation popped up again, you notice that Ghanaians want to ascribe and identify themselves as hip life artists because why? The Grammys have recognized it in an article, so everybody wants a piece of that cake. The same way when the BBC did the documentary on hip life, people say, hey, why is my name not mentioned? Why didn't you record me in this documentary? And so on and so forth. Anytime something gets that global validation, that is when Ghanaians want to quickly run back and say, oh, I used to be there. Oh.
I'm part of it.
But what we are failing to do is, as it stands now that the world is not minding us, the world is not talking about us.
Nobody wants us.
What are we doing? What kind of infrastructure are we building? Last time I told a member from Stoneboy's team that, look, this is the most attentive conversation the Hip Life Journal would have this year. For a year that has been set aside to celebrate Hip Life at 30, the real agents of Hip Life are not talking. The real messengers and the real preachers of Hip Life, we don't know what's happened. The year is almost over. We don't know whether there's going. Apart from Reggie came say that even that one step after that, we have not seen, we've not heard what is happening for the general Hip Life. We are going to wait for maybe Al Jazeera to do a documentary about Hip Life, and then we'll rise again. And that is how we've treated all of our genres. You see, when we start, we don't have faith in it. Like, we don't believe in it.
That's why I was the question, like, who then is the real representation? Because if we're going to be honest with ourselves, then I feel, and I should say this on my chest, I feel that we have looked down on hip life music.
It's not just hip life,
and I feel that yes, you're finally.
I think there's some truth to that. We have.
I feel we,
and that also goes to what Cyril said.
And I feel
that
a lot of hip-hop artists in Ghana do not want to be called hip-life artists, but the real fact is that the impact of the Ghanaian tradition on hip-hop music is what we are looking at as hip-life.
But you know, Jay, what you are saying now is just reiterating what Cyril said about the dashiki and what Olele said about Al Jazeera. It's the same thing, not accepting what we have until someone else does.
On the timeline of events, there will be nodes and moments that are notable and need to be acknowledged and celebrated. But not every node needs to be institutionalized as a genre. Olele's first point is technically wrong. It is impossible. High life is technically defined. It can be studied in school based on the timing, based on the exclusive instruments that must be applied, based on how those instruments must be applied, etc. You, Lenny, can go and study hip life, high life. Hip-hop. No, you can go and study high life without ever being a musician, because it has been technically defined. The 4/4 timing, the kind of instrumentations, the tools needed to create high life, right, are defined and institutionalized as a genre. The same way if I say jazz, right, the timing, the methodology.
Has it?
Yes. High life, go on Wikipedia, go on any music source. Let me finish. Let me finish. Every major genre, right, the same way the orchestra of classical music has been defined, high life has its musical definitions. When we were at the awards, when we were at the board sitting, and we were looking for clarification, and we called the high life, OG, what's his name? What did he tell you? He said we should look out for what? The timing. Because that's it. Forget who sang it, what they address like, what it sounds like, how you are enjoying it. If the timing, if the technical wins, then that supersedes everything else. You do not have that specificity with hip life.
But if that's let me just put a pin here.
You see, you are catching me, but you are saying you want to put a pin in me, man.
I'll catch you because if genres are always going to be identified by technicality, then there shouldn't be any other genre in the world.
No,
because most of the genres in the world are
let me finish.
Most of the genres in the world.
Okay. That's why I said that. Okay, let me finish. That's why I said that when the fusion occurs, right, for it to become a genre, it must be institutionalized by matrices which can be measurable. So I'm not saying that there's no fusion. Do you understand what I'm saying? When there is a fusion, it's up for you to say, is this a fad? Is it a thing? Or can this thing be institutionalized? Then you institutionalize it as a style of music. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay. Is grime a genre?
Is grime a genre? Yes. I don't know. I don't know.
Grime?
I don't know. UK grime.
Yes,
it's a genre.
Why is it a genre?
Because it's institutionalized. The tempo for grime is, if I'm not wrong, is about 112 upwards. Grime beat cannot be slow. You heard UK rap.
Yeah.
So that is a technical. Relax. So that is a technical feat. You cannot now come right and slow it down and say, because what you are doing, you dress like it, your friends are grime, you went to a grime studio, you shot your video like grime, so it's grime. If the beat doesn't meet it, the technical, the tempo and the styling that is acceptable as grime, it's not grime.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So what I want to ask you was, what do you think grime was inspired by?
Grime was inspired by hip hop.
Good.
Yes.
And so the UK were able to find their own elements to characterize their sound.
I'm not disagreeing. And I said they institutionalized it.
But you
the
are saying
institutionalization is what I'm saying. That, bro.
I understand what you're saying.
I get what Olele is.
I understand what you're saying.
They could
what you're saying is makes sense. So I'm just trying to punch holes here that you're talking about the institution of the genre, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. And I'm telling you that hip life as a genre is equally institutionalized, because there are equal elements that identify hip life. So, for example, King Paluta, as an artist, right, when he does a record, we can immediately know and tell that this is a hip life record. But let Kwesi Arthur do a record, you know it's a hip hop record. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No,
because it's the elements. It's like for example, when you go to South Africa, right, and they are playing their various, their Kweto and their Kweto, like the way South Africans can identify the difference between house music and piano music.
Bro, everybody can identify it. It's just the tempo.
The way they would identify it will not be easy for you and I.
Oh, it will be easy for me.
Come on,
bro.
Okay, let's not do this on let's not get this thing. I'm just saying that. No, I'm just saying that. Yeah. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that the practice of hip hop and hip life in this country is so clear by even the artists we listen to. When you listen to Kweku Smoke, you listen to his project, you can clearly tell the guy is a hip hop. Can you define hip life for me? Right. Let me give you an example. So let me ask this question. Yeah. Can you define hip life for me without referencing a song that we've all heard, or without referencing an artist, purely by the genre and the criteria that defines it? For example, if I say jazz music, I can mention the trumpet, the saxophone, the piano, the trombone, without hearing or mentioning any artist. I tell you that any song that has these elements, right, on a bed of piano keys, with the accents being played by a horned instrument, will classify as jazz. I've not mentioned any artist, genre defined. Reggae, I can tell you the calypso drums, the hi-hat, the drum pattern, blah blah blah. Reggae defined, no artist. Can you define hip life for me without mentioning an artist or song, based purely on what the genre is a music genre? I'm happy you mentioned jazz, because even your high life, the strong elements of your high life.
That's why I said high life. You haven't answered my question.
Let me answer.
All right.
You need to answer the question.
Okay, guys. So
there is no answer, bro. I've made my point.
I have this one question.
We have to end the show, but only finish it up, please. We have to wrap up.
We need to understand. We need to understand that hip life is not just hip hop. Hip life is a combination of high life and hip hop. The base bed of hip life is high life. It's the mix. That's all. You understand? That's what I'm saying, that you cannot say that because you can immediately talk about the elements in jazz that make jazz what it is.
You have not institutionalized it. The fact that it is online doesn't mean it is institutionalized. If it was institutionalized, listen, if it was institutionalized, award schemes for the past 30 years would not be writing hip-hop / hip life. The same way they're able to define other genres, right? Based on the technicality of the genre, not on the nominees. Listen, let me say this. On all our awards, including 3 music awards, right? So that nobody will say I'm coming at their awards. Every other genre is clearly defined based on the technical specificity of the genre itself. When they mention genre A, everybody knows that way they are saying it here. The only one that we have to rely on who the artist is, what the artist did, how the artist sound, is hip hop / hip life,
reggae dancehall as well,
and reggae dancehall as well, because the technical details are not clear and readily available for us enough. So we always resort to this subjective debate. Where is Paluta and is this is that? That's not it. Paluta and Kwesi Arthur and Ochiame Kwame and Reggie Rockstone and EL and Sarkodie and Manifest are not bigger than the genre. The genre should define who fits in it. It shouldn't be the person whose work defines the genre.
We'll be defining that genre.
But
I'll wrap it up for me. Lady, I'm so sorry.
I just have one question quickly.
Yes.
Sorry. If Cyril is saying that grime can be a genre on its own, when it's coming from hip hop, how can't hip life be a genre on its own?
Because it was not institutionalized. Are you not hearing me?
Okay.
Grime, listen, somebody sped up hip hop beats. And because of the speed with which the Cockney boys they speak, they created something beautiful and they called it grime. They didn't leave it there. They institutionalized it there and set rules. The tempo must be this. The styling must be this. Most of the instruments you hear must be this.
Have we set same rules for?
That's what I'm saying. That we have not institutionalized hip life.
I don't know why.
That's why I'm asking you the question. That's why I'm asking you the question that define.
Okay, hold on.
The three of you. My question is simple. Define hip life for me without giving me an example of an artist or a song.
Okay.
Define hip life based on its technical prowess. The same way if I tell you to discuss jazz or any other genre for me, you can do it.
Hold on.
But Olele mentioned.
He's not answered it.
You are the question, Mike. You ask the question, you still don't have the question.
The technicality is looking, unless of course he says on technicality.
Yeah.
But we cannot take away the slang. We cannot take away the language. Mm-hmm. We cannot take away the proverbs used in the lyrics or in the rap. We can't take away the bravado in the records or in the music. We can't take away the expression and even the humor that comes with this. This is what makes hip life what it is. Unless, of course, he's saying that these things are not technical. Then we have a different argument because we know that hip life is a fusion of high life and hip hop. We know that when you hear a hip life record, you are definitely going to hear local cultural expressions in the production.
That's a fair point.
We know. The other things that distincts or distinguishes hip life from any other record is some of the things I mentioned. The language, how the rap was laid on the beat, how the rap was, the storytelling in the rap, the bravado, the expressions, the humor. These are the things that make hip life what it is. These are the things that made the older folks come on board the younger rascals.
I beg you.
Okay.
I'm wrapping up. Wait. Watch this. Listen. Guys, watch this. Watch this again. Watch this episode again.
Yes.
And when you get to the point where I said that the elements that make it exclusively unique.
Yes.
Everything you've mentioned there applies to every genre of music. Every genre of music, relax. Every genre of music guys is defined by its guys. What are you talking about? You understand? Everything you said there is generic.
No. No.
I said specific. Technical. I used two words. Specific and technical.
Because Olele talking about style, Cyril talking about production.
Guys, hold on, style. Guys, Mr. Style.
We set the precedence here in this studio. No, relax. We set the precedence. We set the precedence when we said that we all accepted that.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.